The initial gripping matters a lot, right? So I kind of want to get, like I said, where I have my balance on the hand. So I'm not trying to jam him. Because if I, like say I'm here and I try to shove there, even if that didn't happen, I'm just a little bit out of balance this way. Okay. So I'm trying to think about his legs almost like the floor or like a tripod, right? If I'm here, I have balance. If there was like handlebars here, this is very balanced. This is less balanced. So I'm trying to find a place on the leg, and that can shift depending upon like where the pants are or whatever, but it could just palm it. I could grab some material here, something like that. Okay. That gives me a really nice balance point, okay? Now let's say we're here and it feels like this is nice. If I get a good balance point on this guy, if he grabs my collar, cross collar, this gives me a counter post against his pull. You see, because I'm trying to keep my thoracic spine extended. So as he pulls, see, I have a counter post. If I was like, say here jamming, see now he's, now I'm getting out of position. So I'm chasing that first, right? So we're here. Another thing is kind of get back and low sometimes because it allows me to line that angle up better. The higher I am, the wider the tripod needs to be, right? So we're here. You can move around if you need, right? So now we go back here, right? So now he's going to look for the sleeve. Okay, so if he looks for the sleeve, one thing is if you get the good balance point, it tends to be that it's actually kind of hard to break the grip when you have a good balance point. Because you see, he's going to kick the material into my palm, right? And when he kicks kick it into the palm, there again, see, it becomes kind of hard. Okay. If I have a good jam on this, I can step back and that leaves opening. So I might clear to this side for like a reverse Toreando. It could be that if he tries to kick really to break the grip a bunch, he leaves like a drop pass to that side. If he puts the foot in the bicep here, right? I can try to do a throw by. If, let's say he breaks. So he kicks to break here, right? Boom, like this. See, right here, I've already looped the hand because of when he's breaking, you see how when he's breaking, my hand is already in the position to have looped. Okay. Now, he doesn't control my posture here. You see? So even though he has my sleeve, the posture is really what fatigues me, right? So yeah, he has my sleeve. I have a good hand post here. I have good posture. So now if he starts pushing on my hip and stuff, so put it with your foot, you see I can still keep my balance here and I'm still keeping this. Now I'm going to progress back. But you see I'm always protecting that posture. Now this could come into here. It could, if this is up tighter, it could turn into like a knee cut, right? So I'm here. So I don't have to worry so much about that. So just keep good jams. I step my leg back. Here I see reverse leg drag, leg drag, reverse leg drag, trap. He puts the foot in the bicep, throw. He tries to break, can start looping, start retrapping, and move. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it was my initial position that was wrong.
Show me your initial position.
Because I was trying to jam his legs against his face like this.
Yeah, again, right. So the goal is not to jam him. The goal is to find balance. Find balance. Find whatever position balances you the most. You're trying to protect your balance and your thoracic extension. Right? Yeah, so see now when he pulls, exactly, right? And then you have to be opportunistic. It depends on like where the throw bys are, depend on like the pants and where his feet are positioned. So sometimes like, his pants maybe, do it to me real quick. So say we're here and let's say the pants are up here, grab at the base of the cuff and give me your foot here, right? So let's say we're here. Yeah. Here it's easier to control where my foot goes, right? But if the pants are up at the knee, like this, then when you jam, you still have your balance. That's the first thing. But maybe it's harder to clear here. Yeah. But you see, if my foot was here, you could go. Because you see, right? Or let's say I tried to go foot and bicep here, you could throw that, right? So you have to, your first goal is balance and keeping the thoracic extension and relax. Okay, find balance first. If you don't lose balance and you don't lose the thoracic extension, you're fine. Then you're opportunistic on the passes. So don't over jam, chase balance and posture first.
But do you have to have strong grip? You can
no, you don't need a strong grip.
Okay.
It's like sometimes I can do it without even like making a grip, right? Okay. Like if you go down here real quick, right? Let's just say we'll do it here so he can see. So like here, for example, if I just like C-cup behind your knee or your hamstring, this is like a nice balance point. I can feel if I was here, I'm out of balance that way. So this is like a counterbalance. Okay. You see? So now you start putting your spider hook in, you start extending your leg. You see how you just feel like I'm keeping my balance, right? Because that's still locked out and you're overextending a lot.
And I feel weak.
Yeah, for sure. You see there, jam. Okay. Here, jam, right? So you start making grips on me. You see? And the openings appear.
Okay. So balance,
Extension, yeah.
extension, and then grips.
Yeah, I would say the two main things defensively on top I'm focused on are my thoracic extension, which is just like pulling the chin back and keeping this.
Okay.
It's like if you do a deadlift, you want to keep that nice balanced structure. When this rounds, it becomes easy to break your posture. So I'm managing that. Now, if I manage my posture, but I lose my balance, like so for example, you go to your guard, right? If I'm here and I have good thoracic extension, but I step here, now you grab both ankles, I have my extension, but my balance is gonna fall, right? So those generally are the two things I'm trying to protect. It's balance and thoracic extension. If I keep those two things, I'm good, right? And then of course, depending on the specific context, different hand placements and things. So if I'm just approaching a guard and I don't quite know what to do, okay, keep this here. This is a good balance point. The legs is a big balance point a lot of people miss. So I'm like this, so you start making grips on me, right? You start attacking, right? Yeah, you see, boom, everything starts opening. And then I can progress into positions like this.
He pulls really, really hard on my collar, and my posture is compromised like this.
Yeah, so you want to try to regain your posture, right? So right now, like the lower you are, the easier it is to regain. So let me do it real quick. So we're here. So let's just say he doesn't have to have both collars. Just say he has this, just relax, just here, okay? If I'm up here, right, and I don't have a good hand post for example, if I had this, then I can use that as a stiff arm against this pole. But like somehow I'm just out of position and I'm rounded a bit, right? Once I'm rounded, it's very hard to regain here. So I could try to break, but if they're incredibly supplemented, it's very hard to break sometimes, right? So getting lower makes it easier to regain thoracic extension, right? Because it's like you're getting under the bar, right? Now I've regained thoracic extension. Now, again, this is on a macro level. So you need specific knowledge for certain things to understand what to do in each situation. But once I've regained the thoracic extension, now let's say I got my hand here, for example, right? Or if this knee was tight, it might be, keep your knee to your chest. Yeah, it might be like this. Once I get my extension back, now I can restand with appropriate hand grips to maintain the thoracic extension. You see? So now he starts pulling, and then now you see I'm strong again. Right? So depending on how he does it, in your case, he had both lapels, watch the mic, right? So he pulled me down here like this, right? So just intuitively what feels right here is probably coming under here and then doing that. And you see I start kind of like trying to elongate my posture up here, right? If I need to, I can put the hand on the floor. Can you go that side? Yep. So you see like here, keep pulling really hard, right? See, I can put the hand on the floor like this, and that helps. You see I'm stiff arming there. Sometimes I put my shin right on like his thigh, groin area, and then I can use that to re-extend. You see? So, and then there's gonna be a lot of different ways you can do it, right? So you could try to break the grip, and there's nothing wrong with trying to break grips, but sometimes it's very hard to break the grip, and then it's like you just reset the position. So I get low and try to find some hand positioning to regain thoracic extension. Does that make sense?
Yes.